Hey, this is Tim. Let's see what we got now this morning. Check engine light on. So this has got a misfire. I've already been through all this before with these engines. This is a Ecotec, of course, 2010 Aveo. Whenever you have one where you can hear vacuum coming right here, it's got misfires and everything else, go ahead and order you. It's about $50 on Amazon. I done ordered it. It's the PCV system underneath, right there. It's internal, and it's made integrated into the valve cover. So I will tell you the part number here in just a minute, but that's what we'll be putting on. You see, right here is where that PCV system is. It's the Ecotec. As soon as I change that, now watch this. See how bad it's leaking internally? Look at that. That's because they integrated the PCV system in with the valve cover. Wasn't that intelligent? Alright, let's change this valve cover. Alright, that was a T40. Now you go to 8mm. You want to take all the bolts all around the valve cover off. Got your clip in the back for the PCV. Pop your hose off. That's it. This is where it's leaking out internally inside here. I'm not even be able to see it, but I see it's integrated in there. The PCV system. So I will be putting a brand new one in here because you can't replace this. Like I said, it's integrated in there. And I'll be putting a new one on in just a second. Well, I decided I'm going to do some plugs too. Now I'm in here. Get the ones that are made for the engine, they'll be pre-gap, but check them anyway. I always do. Wipe any oil, you got any oil down there, wipe it up. Clean everything up a little bit. It's got a pretty good gaskets on there, but do not come off everywhere. So, alright. I just don't like these and the other Ecotec you see in my other videos. I don't like the PCV systems in them whatsoever. They're junk. I don't like how they get it integrated with the intake or integrated with the valve covers. Let's get this valve cover on this. Make sure you're real careful when you come around up here. Pull the your wiring harness on this side. Pull it. Go ahead and pull it up off the injectors here. That way you just slide it up underneath there. Make sure everything's lined up real good. Keep the wires out of the way and make sure that's pushed down on there. about the one in the middle. Go around and of course, we're going to hook our PCV back up in the back, put our clip back on. Which is always fun. Make sure you put your clip back on, good and snug and tight. Fasten all your wire harness back to the sides. They got places for it. In the push these down in here. It'll be nice and neat. Fasten your injectors on your side of your valve cover. I'm gonna put the coils back in. They just, of course, slide in. Make sure they're pushed down good. Alright, let's snug everything up. Hook up your coil, of course. And I'm going to hook everything back up, push everything down, and then we're going to make sure everything's on, and we're going to try it out. It's amazing how a valve cover make it run brand new. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing. No more check engine lights. Let's see. We're gonna watch the fuel system, and we're gonna watch the coolant temp. Because I had to put a coolant temp in here because the AC wasn't working and the gauge wasn't working. So whenever your gauge isn't working or your AC isn't working on these Chevrolets, it's that coolant temp sensor. It's telling the computer it's minus 40 degrees, so they cut everything off. I know it's working now because it says 129. And the mass airflow on this one had a blown fuse. So if you got a check your fuses. If you got a mass airflow sensor code on one of these, make sure you check your I think it's a ES2 fuse, because they're only 10 amps, and sometimes they'll blow, especially if somebody goes to changing them or taking them on and off, or taking the breather on and off, and that might be the reason why the your mass airflow ain't working. So always go to your mass airflow right here. Airflow rate should be 0.5 at idle, of course wide open. Should move to 2 to 3, but it wasn't registering anything. Look at that. I mean, that's just incredible. It just bewilders me how a valve cover now. I mean, I guess it's the same thing as a PCV hose busted, or a PCV, you know, itself being clogged or something. But to have it integrated like that, I mean, I guess they thought they knew what they were doing, but it seems like if you'd have it a more external way of replacing it, you wouldn't have to replace the whole valve cover. But the valve cover is only, you know, it's $50 on Amazon. But we're going to check everything out, making sure everything is all right on this. But right now, this thing is absolutely running great. Make sure the fans work. Now these do have two coolant temp sensors. I need to tell you that, I guess, because I replaced one. I replaced one back here on the thermostat. That's the one that controls your gauge and it'll tell your fan to cut it off. But you also have a radiator fan one, and it's hard to see it, but it is way down there on the bottom. So make sure your fan works at about, I don't know, whatever this one's cued to turn on. We're going to wait and see, and I'll be right back. Alright, on this vehicle, running absolutely perfect. Now, this might not be true with yours. You might only have the bad PCV leak from the valve cover. Once you replace that, you're fine. This one actually had number 4 coil bad, and you got about all the set. Like O'Reilly's. Part number UF620. Anyway, so I had to do that on this one. But that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to on yours. This absolutely runs like a new engine. So if you got a bad PCV valve leak and you hear that air hissing and coming out of that valve cover, well, that's the only way you're going to repair it, is replace the valve cover. And I'll put a part number in the description. And I got another one coming. So yeah, come on. Thanks for watching.